Major Bear kicks off this Bears Now mailbag. I'm Harrison Graham. Hypothetical, he says. Would you rather take Ashton Jeanty or Tyler Warren if all things are equal? So let's just say the Bears signed 2 offensive linemen. This is a tough one. I think I would go Jeanty because you have a second-year quarterback, and Ben Johnson has said on the record numerous times we need to take some pressure off Caleb Williams. So I think I'd go Jeanty. But I would think long and hard because I really like both these guys. But Jeanty is obviously, I do think there's a gap between him and the rest of the running backs in this class. He has some of the best contact balance I've ever seen. He's also explosive enough to run away from defenders. He can catch the ball. I'm a really big fan. I love Tyler Warren too. I mean, I was a huge Brock Bowers guy. I still think Bowers is better than Warren, but I don't think there's a huge gap there. I absolutely think in this draft he's worthy of a top 10, top 12 pick. He's kind of a joker, if you will. You can use him in different ways. You can line him up in the backfield if you wanted to. So he's a fun player. I think I would lean Jeanty in this scenario, but I'd think long and hard about it. What say you? All things are equal. Who you picking? Type AJ for Ashton Jeanty, T-Dub for Tyler Warren. Who you rocking with? Let us know. AJ or T-Dub, Ashton Jeanty, Tyler Warren. Xavier Soup, thoughts on polls talking about Kiran's versatility inside and out and him alluding to Kiran working with Olin Kreutz this offseason. I did see the Kreutz thing. Actually, I must have missed the comment about inside and out. I'm glad he said that because I do think they should give Kiran Amegadjie a look on the inside. I also wonder, is he the competition for Braxton Jones, or are they bringing in another left tackle? Because that's something Poles specifically said. But Poles may have said this on a different show, for all I know. But, I do think Amegadjie is a player you need to give a look on the inside because I don't know if his foot quickness, from what I saw last year, is good enough to be a left tackle in the NFL. Okay, we got Twin Quiz. Appreciate the $5 super chat. How could tight end not be the number one need? Don't we currently only have Kmet on the entire roster? Well, the reason is because Kmet is he's your starter. So, you can plug in backup tight ends for cheap or later in the draft. But I hear what you're saying. I think Kmet is better at his job than DeAndre Swift is. And I also just think with the offense Ben Johnson wants to run, he wants to run multiple running back offense. Like Swift, to me, is not going to be a 3-down runner in this system. And I don't think Roschon Johnson's good enough to be a top 2 back. So I think adding somebody, whether it's Jeanty or someone on day 2, is going to be something that probably happens. And I don't have an issue with it as long as the offensive line is in good standing. More questions to come, including Cornelius's super chat. But first, we want to tell you guys about today's sponsor. That is PrizePicks, the best daily fantasy sports app in North America. You should be one of the 10 million users and counting. It is available in more than 30 states. If it's available in yours, get signed up today at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you sign up and play for just $5. Set your first $5 lineup today. And listen, the way it works is simple. You pick 2 or more players and then pick more or less on the stat projections available. Basketball, baseball, combine, lots of things out there for you guys. Get started at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. Here's a picture of a 4-player lineup. Got Les on Isaiah Bond and Jaden Blue. They talked a big game about their 40s. Les on Amegadjie and Arian Smith as well. All the speed on this 4-player lineup. $10 to win 100. Certain lineups you can win up to 1,000 times your earning. Yes, you could turn $10 into 10,000. Get started today at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Code CLNS, $50 bonus when you sign up and play for just $5. All takes less than a couple minutes to get started. Go check it out. Okay, big wonder. Do you think that the Bears meeting with Mason Graham, that could there be talks of them slipping to 10? With all the GMs one place, maybe they're talking about his draft position. I mean, maybe not. I think there's at least a chance he slides, but I also think it's just due diligence, right? They're not going to meet with Cam Ward because they're not drafting a quarterback. They probably won't meet with Abdul Carter because very little chance he would fall. Although maybe they meet with Carter, especially with the injury now. But, they've probably seen him up close a few times play at Michigan. They need a defensive tackle, so there's no harm in meeting with them. These meetings are 15 minutes at the Combine. So taking a meeting with the guy, even if he's unlikely to fall to 10, maybe they fall in love with him enough where they would trade up for him. I'm not saying I would do that. I'm just saying these teams, they consider all scenarios. So, if he were there at 7 or 8, maybe they'd trade up to get him. So, I wouldn't read too much into that in terms of if they think he's going to fall or not. Cornelius, $10, appreciate it. Ben Johnson was on with Big Cat, and they were making fun of Matt Eberflus. I just wish he would have defended head coaches a little bit because when this honeymoon phase won't last forever with him. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's not calling out Flus by name. You have to remember, too, that it's pardon my take. They're going to joke around, and he's leaning into that. Did you see the beginning? Or did you see the one clip where he shot it back at Big Cat and he was like, hypothetical for you, Bears or Patriots in the Super Bowl? Who are you picking? Because that whole thing came out that Big Cat grew up a Boston sports fan. They're having fun. It is what it is. Is Ben a confident and maybe even slightly cocky guy? Yeah, it seems to be. And I like that he believes in himself a lot. So, yeah, I think you're right. If you come out and start 0-4, you're going to have to start facing the bullets. But, I don't care that much about that. And let's be honest, too, Matt Eberflus fucking stunk. I mean, did you see the NFLPA thing come out? He couldn't even set meetings properly, during the week. So, Flus buried himself. It is what it is. I wish him well in Dallas. Seems like a nice guy. Not a head coach in the NFL. It's okay for us to acknowledge that. Okay, hit the subscribe button. We have off-season coverage every single day here on Chicago Bears Now. News, rumors, we answer your questions on these mailbags. We go live at least twice per week as well. Lock us in. You are not going to want to miss out. Is it Tommy? Tommy K, my gut is telling me it's going to be Jeanty at 10, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm more okay. It's all about trusting Ben Johnson. I do think if they take Jeanty, that's a Johnson-influenced pick, and I do think you have to trust that a bit. I also think if they take Jeanty, they've done some work on the offensive line in free agency. I'd have to think that. So I've come around to it a bit as well. Is it my top option as I'm sitting here today? No, I wouldn't say that, but he's in a group of players that I'd be comfortable taking. He's definitely one of the 10 best players in the draft, probably one of the 5 or 6 best. You get that at 10, it's kind of hard to completely dismiss it. Sean the Savage, Bears prediction, the first 3 signings, Ryan Poles does what when free agency starts? I think one of them is almost certainly Kevin Zeitler. I think Kevin Zeitler will be one of those guys. I'll say Drew Dahlman as well. I'll say those 2, and then a defensive lineman. I don't know who it'll be. Maybe it's Chase Young. Maybe it's a lesser name. Maybe it's bringing back Khalil Mack, although the Chargers GM said this week that they want to bring him back. So maybe he doesn't even hit the open market. But I would say some combination like that. I wouldn't be shocked either if you saw just like a Tutu Atwell early on, right? Just lock in a speedster like that. So, we'll see. But I would expect some signings early and often on day one. Who should the Bears draft? As we shift to the NFL draft, at number 10 overall, do you want Ashton Jeanty? Do you want an offensive lineman like Will Campbell? Although I'm not convinced he'll be there. Well, I'm curious to see where he goes. Who do you think the Bears should draft at 10? Let us know. DC Viper, do you think the Bears will re-sign Jack Sanborn? If not, who could fill his spot? If they don't, they're going to have to sign or draft someone. I don't think that why am I blanking? Noah Sewell has shown enough to be a third linebacker in the NFL. Eamon Ogbongbemiga is a free agent. Maybe you bring him back as a special teamer, but is he a third backer? Probably not. I hope they bring back Sanborn. I think he's great as that Sam linebacker number 3 guy. But if not, they'll have to find somebody. So maybe that's why they're meeting with some linebackers at the NFL Combine to keep that flexibility open. All right, appreciate all of your questions on today's mailbag video. If you didn't get yours answered or if you have more, fire in my DMs on Twitter, on Instagram, at HGramNFL. DMs are wide open. I got to catch up on some DMs on IG, so I'll be sure to do that this weekend. Stay tuned and bear down.